Hey guys, the next type of graph or way to visually represent data that we're going to be looking at is called dot plots. But before we get into dot plots, I have a couple of quick bits of revision for you guys. If I pick students with last names starting with B, C, G, and H to do a survey on homework, what kind of sample am I choosing? Random, systematic, or stratified? What I want you guys to do is pause the video, think about your answer to this question, and then when you come back in a second, I'll tell you what it is. Okay, I think the answer to this question is systematic, because I haven't chosen the names randomly, but I also haven't made any attempt to pick students so that they represent the whole group. I've chosen an ordered way to pick students based on their last name, so that is systematic. The second revision question I have for you is, I want you to quickly find out what the mode of these 7 numbers is. Again, pause the video, have a go at the question yourself, please. Okay, and the answer to this question is 3, because the mode is the number that appears most often. Okay, now we're going to move on to dot plots. And I think the best way for you guys to learn about dot plots is to see one being constructed. So this is going to work a little bit like our histograms from our last lesson. Along the bottom axis here, we're going to put our scores. So we have numbers 1 to 6. So we're going to put those at the bottom of our graph. Scores. And again, the same as the histogram, what we're going to have up the side, the vertical axis, is how often our scores occur, or their frequency. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider all the ones, and every time I see a 1, for every one that appears in my data, I'm going to put a dot over the ones. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the 2's, count up how many 2's I have. And for every 2, I place a dot above the 2's. And we keep doing this for every number. There are 3 4's, so I put 3 dots above the 4's. There are actually no 5's, so there are no dots above the 5, and there is 1 6. So what we're doing here, guys, is we're counting up how many of the numbers there are, and then we're representing each one here with a dot. Let's look at one more example. This one is about interpreting a dot plot. So the data that we have here is a class has been asked the question, how many pets do you have in your home? And the responses from 0 pets to 8 pets are recorded here in this dot plot. So to answer the first question, how many children have 2 pets, we find the number 2 here and then count how many dots are above it. And there are 4 dots above the 2. So that means there were 4 children in this class that had 2 pets. Second question, B. How many children participated in the survey? So the total number of dots indicate the number of children participating in the survey, because every dot here on the graph represents a person that has answered this question: how many pets do you have at home? So if we count them up, there are 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There are 22 students in this class. What is the range of values? Okay, this is some revision for you guys. What is the range? It's the highest score minus the lowest. So in this case, range is going to equal the biggest score, which is here at 8, minus the lowest score, which is 0. So the range is just going to be 8. What is the median number of pets? So we don't need to write our data in order now to find the median, because the median is already there for us. We know that there are 22 total people in the survey, so the median, or the middle, is going to be halfway through our 22 people, or 11. So we just need to count up, starting in this bottom corner, going up, and then once we've counted this whole column, we're going to start back at the bottom of the next column. That's how we're going to count through to find the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, back when we first looked at median, if we had the median in the middle here, we would have taken the average of the 2 scores either side of it to find the median. But in this case, the 2 scores either side of the middle are exactly the same. So that means our median is going to just be 1. E. What is the outlier? Now this is a new word for us. The outlier is this one score that lies out on its own. That is the outlier. That's why it's called the outlier, because it lies out on its own, away from all the other scores. So the outlier equals 8. And the mode, we went over this just before. You should all be able to easily identify the mode. The score that occurs the most often is 1, because it is the tallest column. Okay, now for the work that we're going to do now, you guys have a choice. On iLearn, where you clicked the link to this video, there is also going to be a link to an Education Perfect lesson. You can click on that link and you can complete that lesson, or you can follow these instructions over here. You can go to the textbook, go to page 532 and answer question 2 and question 4. I'm happy for you to choose either one of these options, and you will either submit your textbook work to me on iLearn, or I will be able to see what you've done on Education Perfect. Thanks, guys.